And who has got to be the false prophet? The person or the group that's going to be the false prophet will bring about a world religion. Who's at the head of that right now? The Vatican. Who has the shroud? The Vatican. What does the Bible say as far as Revelations goes? It says that the false prophet will give life to the beast. What is a beast? We know in the beginning the beast was something like a serpent or whatever that did not have, let's say, a soul. And if you look at Jewish Talmud work, you find that there was something called a golem. And a golem was a beast without a soul. And I'm like, oh, this just kind of came together, because if you can create flesh without a soul, then Satan can use it as a vehicle to ride in without having to fight against it. Because if you do a lot of research in possession, you know that a person can be exorcised and you can get rid of the demon, just like Jesus drove out the demon. But if you've got flesh that doesn't have a soul, then you don't have this fight or possibility of eradicating it. So this made a lot more sense. Now, if you could clone the blood of Jesus and you could bring his flesh back to life, then his temple, and he kept telling the Pharisees and Sadducees he was going to raise up his temple in 3 days. And they thought he was going to build a temple back, the regular structural temple.
Right.
He meant his body. And in Daniel it says, the abomination of desolation that will bring back Jesus Christ at the second coming is the fact that this image is going to walk in the newly built temple there in Israel, but he's going to proclaim that he is the Messiah. So if Satan could get mankind to build him the vehicle through cloning, and that image looked like the image on the shroud, and we have got the DNA capability to be able to determine the bloodline, that which is so crucial, the bloodline to be able to walk into that temple, you have to be from the lineage of David. And supposedly in 70 AD, all those records were destroyed when that temple was burned. So the person walking in there and proclaiming himself to be King David's descendant would have to have a blood lineage. Well, if you do any research, you know that all these DNA, genetic kind of things that are going on, they've been able to find, like, Jews that live in Ethiopia and be able to look at their blood and tell who is who, if they're of, like, these lost tribes. And I did a lot of research in what Hitler was doing when he was getting rid of certain Jews and allowing the other ones to go free. And I found out the ones he let go free were kind of a Khazar Jew, which is a mixed Jew. He was getting rid of the true Hebraic lineages, but he was also identifying their bloodlines. Well, now when people are asking, for Christians to give money to send the Jews back home, when these people go back to Israel, they are taking blood samples of those people. And they are identifying these different little facets of what makes the Hebraic lineage, which was the true people who were supposed to get the real promised land back in the first part of the Bible. So the intent now is that we have the capability to identify this blood. And we have the understanding that this blood, if on the shroud, could be a mixture of God with man. If that is correct, then that DNA has the capabilities different than anything that you and I have. But it would also have the Hebraic lineage that would prove that whoever is walking in that flesh could walk into that temple and proclaim himself to be of royal lineage and descent from King David. Now, all of this has been really popularized in the books by Dan Brown, because we're going to say that instead of it looking like it's going to be a clone, that there actually is a blood lineage that came through the holy royal Merovingian bloodline. And that holy, royal, Merovingian bloodline is what the royal